I mean, the first thought that comes to mind, and this isn't, I would say even maybe advice I have gotten, is just kind of natural hunger, want to grow, want to a desire to achieve, right? And maybe it's immigrant mentality and an American dream kind of aspiration. Maybe if it's even going to that foundational level, because I know, that's why my parents immigrated to this country, was for the American dream. And, they worked really hard and they didn't speak English. And just being a child, seeing all of that, I think was like core to who I am as a person, is wanting to level up and build my better life. Definitely have gratitude and appreciate what I have and what I've accomplished, but if I'm capable, if I'm smart, if I, can do these other things to grow and better myself, why wouldn't I do that? I think that just ties so closely into sales, because again, I think at a foundational level, once I knew, you know, one career type is go be an accountant, make your salary. It can be a very good salary, 80,000 or 100,000 plus or whatever, but that's for your salary, and maybe you get a bonus at the end of the year. Sales, maybe it's a lower base salary, or there's sales jobs where it's, zero base salary, which I think are very tough and, high stress even. But the potential,
Mhm.
to exceed is just the work you put in, right? And that's where it kind of goes outside of the 9 to 5. If you want to make more money, you sometimes work in the evenings, or you work on the weekends, or it doesn't have to be sending emails. It can be reading a sales book or taking a sales course or things like that. So going back to your question of, advice I've received, it's having a growth mindset. There's a great book. I know you've heard of it, and you probably have it in the back of Carol Dweck, the mindset book of fixed mindset versus growth mindset, which is a big theme. Just having that kind of approach to, I think, not just a sales career, but just life in general, is having that growth mindset and kind of trying to level up. And we're all not perfect, and we all don't know everything, but just having that approach will kind of lead to bigger and better things in life and in career as well.
That's good. And what I'm hearing from you is that probably the most important. A lot of people. Here's the thing. I love that question because a lot of people they
Hmm.
worry too much about sometimes the tools or these days it's AI, right? How to use this and
Hmm.
that. But then when it comes to the core, it's like just your values, your principles, what drives you, your why, right?
Hmm.
Your mindset, your hunger to learn. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that,
There's, but yeah, when I think about advice, some of it has been books, and you mentioned Finding Your Why, Simon Sinek, one of my favorite authors. He wrote a book, I think it was called To Sell is Human. And it just talks about how even if you're not a sales rep or an account executive, we all sell, right? If you're a husband trying to convince his wife to go on a European vacation and to spend that money on the European vacation versus on updating something at the house, like you want to sell her on that, right? Or if you're convincing your kids to get ready for school, right? You're always selling something and kind of influencing and convincing folks, whether you're an official, salesperson or not. So I think some of the advice and things I've gotten is just picking up a book, or, a few of them throughout my career, and reading them that way, and just always trying to grow.
okay.